Radhe Krishna Radhe, Jai Radhe Krishna Radhe, Radhe Krishna Radhe Krishna Radhe Krishna Radhe.
So the blind friend said, "What do you mean by white?" And he said, "It means not black." So he said, "What do you mean by not black?" And he's figuring out how to explain to his friend. There was a crane around. He grabbed the crane and he said, "Look, like this crane." So he felt the crane. He said, "Acha, white means it is soft." He said, No, not soft. Come, feel like this. So he felt the beak now and he said, "Oh, white means crooked. So you got a crooked pudding." How will that blind boy experience whiteness? His senses are unable. Likewise, the instruments of perception are limited. It's like a mechanic wishes to figure out how a car works. So the mechanic traces the motion back from the wheels to the axle rod, to the piston, to the engine, to the gearbox, to the ignition switch and the steering wheel. And he says this car is moving because of the steering wheel, accelerator, ignition switch. But there's a driver who's operating all of these. If you subtract the driver, what will the car do? Likewise, if a doctor is asked how does the body work, he'll say, it is the heart, the kidneys, liver, pancreas. But behind them all is a soul that is energizing them all. When the soul goes, the whole body is there, but all function has stopped. So what was the source of life in the body? Where did life come from is the big question. In America, there is a category of philosophers called consciousness philosophers. They keep pondering over the reason for consciousness. See, like this doesn't have consciousness. Does AI have consciousness? It does not. It doesn't have awareness. It doesn't have life. We have got consciousness. We have got the quality of life. Where is this coming from? A Nobel Prize winner in physiology, Albert Giorgio, he said, "In my search for the basis of consciousness, I ended up with electrons, protons, neutrons. Somewhere down the line, consciousness slipped out of my hands. Now in my old age, I am retracing my steps." So he realized that dead matter cannot result in consciousness. What is that missing link? The missing link is the soul. Are we consciousness? No, we are the soul. The symptom of the soul is consciousness. When the soul is present, your body becomes conscious, lifelike. So you are the soul, and your presence in the body imparts consciousness to it. So the point Sri Krishna is saying out here, that the ignorant are unable to perceive their identity as the soul. And yet, a lot of research in parapsychology happens from time to time. Dr. Michael Sabom, in the year 1982, he published his study, Recollections of Death, a medical investigation. It has repeatedly been seen that patients who had a cardiac arrest, a severe cardiac arrest, and had to be given artificial resuscitation, very often they later on, if they came back to life, they had awareness of what all took place in the room. So he interviewed such people And he said, how does medical science explain this? Because when the heart has stopped functioning, the blood flow to the brain has stopped. So how is the brain working to be aware what is going on? It means that beyond this physical brain is something else. Dr. Brian Weiss, whose book is legendary, Many Lives, Many Masters, he describes that one of his patients suddenly had a cardiac arrest and they had to give her artificial respiration and she came back to life. And later on she related that she was standing on this side of the room and watching them all giving respiration to her. And he said, what is the proof that you were doing it? She said, your pen fell off from your pocket and rolled to where I was standing. He said, my God, that shows that the body was there, but the soul was aware. So Sri Krishna says two things here. The first, he says, those who are ignorant cannot perceive the soul. But those who possess the eyes of knowledge. Now this is called Jnana Chakshu. Now how do you see yourself as the soul? Initially, later on, when your mind is purified, at that time you will see the soul by realization. When the mind is cleansed, you say, this is the mind. This is the intellect. But when the mind, just like if there's a glass of water and there's mud in it, so you cannot see through. But you put potash alum in it and the mud settles down and then it becomes clear. Likewise, if the mind is cleansed, then you will see the soul by realization. But initially, you have to use Jnana Chakshu. Jnana Chakshu means the eyes of knowledge. The scriptures are saying it. So our scriptures are called Darshan Shastra. What is Darshan Shastra? Darshan Shastra means they're helping you to see. You say, Swamiji, I'm already seeing. The scriptures say, no, you are not seeing, you are thinking you are seeing. But in fact, you are not seeing the reality. You are thinking there is happiness. It's not the reality. You are thinking you are the body. So the scripture is saying, we'll just help you to see better. You know, in America, there was a TV serial that ran for very long, The Three Stooges. So in that, Larry would ask if Moe would start shouting, I cannot see, I cannot see, I cannot see. And Larry would say, why can you not see? And he would say, because my eyes are closed. So Larry would bop him on the head, he'd open his eyes and say, now I can see. The scriptures say, likewise, we'll teach you how to see. First of all, start using the eyes of knowledge. So he's going to detail this now in the next one. 11. Yatanto yoginaschainam.
Yatanto yoginaschainam.
Pasyantyatmanyavasthitam.
Pasyantatmanyavasthitam.
Yatantopya kritatmano.
Yatantopya kritatmano.
Nainam pashyantya chetasaha.
Nainam pashyantya chetasaha.
Translation. Striving yogis too are able to realize the soul enshrined in the body. However, those whose minds are not purified cannot cognize it, even though they strive to do so. So, now Sri Krishna is giving us a little more, how will you get realization of the self? So he says, not that you have to become God realized. Even if you are on the path, you can realize the self, provided you purify the mind. But those whose minds are not pure, they will have no perception. If you tell them, they will say, we don't believe. There's so many people who will refuse simple mystical abilities. The ability for telepathy, ability for mind reading, they'll say so much of hocus pocus. They will dismiss it all completely. So this is like the Koop Manduk Nyay. The Nyay Darshan explains logics. So one of the logic it gives is Koop Manduk. A frog used to live in a well. And a frog came in from the Pacific. There is one breed of frogs that lives in the ocean, the Rana cancrivora. So this Rana cancrivora jumped into the well. Now the two frogs started doing a tete-a-tete. This well frog asked the ocean frog, the place you have come from, how much water is there? Is it as big as my well? And he jumped from one side of the well to the other. Is it this big? The ocean frog said, much bigger. 2 times the size of my well? No, much bigger. 10 times. Even bigger. 100 times? Or even bigger than that. You liar. How can anything be more than 100 times the size of my well? So this is the Koop Manduk. The frog in the well. His experience of lifetime is limited to the well. And so he can only think in terms of his well. Now we are laughing. But we are also doing the same thing. Based on our limited experience and the analytical ability of the 6 inches of grey matter that lies between our 2 ears, we also challenge, there is no God. Sam Harris, etc., very famous atheists. So they will challenge, there is no God. There used to be another famous one, Robert Ingersoll. He used to challenge, says, there is a God, let him come and throw a thunderbolt at me. Once, a missionary, a communist, in the wave of communism was going on in Kerala. So he gathered in a park and he said, there is no God. God is the opiate of the masses. So people were agitated because in the group of people there were some believers, non-believers. And this communist said, I will prove that there is no God. He said, I am insulting God. If he is there, let him prove his existence by sending a thunderbolt to kill me. And if he doesn't send it, by the time I count 10, it proves there is no God. So everybody in the audience was now on tenterhooks. Will God send a thunderbolt? Or will his existence be disproved? So he counted till 10 and no thunderbolt appeared. He said, look, God is disproved. Now fortunately in the group was one saint called Sadhu Itivara. So he lifted his hand. He said, look, God is your father and he is infinitely compassionate. If you tell your father that to prove that you exist, you hit me with a thunderbolt, why in the world will he do any such thing? Likewise, why will the compassionate God just kill you to prove that he exists? Everybody in the audience heaved a sigh of relief. Thank God, thank God. So the point is that Sri Krishna is telling us that most people are unable to perceive the self and unable to perceive God. And how will you start perceiving? You will have to start purifying the mind. Now people don't even realize that they are not the mind. You know, in the year 2020 we could not travel much because of the COVID. 21, then in Seattle, one lady came to me and she said, Swamiji, I'm in deep trouble. I said, what happened? She said that my brother passed away with cancer 5 months ago. So I said, I'm so sorry. She said, that is not what is affecting me. What is my worry is that he got cancer. I may also get cancer. So I am always thinking, I may get cancer, I may get cancer, I may get cancer. And I've heard of the law of attraction, that what you keep on thinking, you attract to yourself. And now I'm thinking cancer, 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 cancer. So my vulnerability to cancer is only increasing. Please tell me a solution. I said, you are not thinking I may get cancer. Your mind is thinking. She said, what do you mean? I said, you are not the mind. That's the first piece of knowledge. The mind is a machine that is given to you. It's a subtle machine. That subtle machine is untrained. The monkey mind is playing tricks with you. Now one lady, her baby was 2 years old, and she said, Swamiji, I am in deep trouble. I said, what? You will not believe the thoughts that come to me. I said, what are these thoughts? Oh, Swamiji, I'm too horrified to tell you. I said, are you thinking of lifting your baby and slamming her against the wall? She said, how did you guess? Now, think what happened out here. Her mind is creating so many thoughts. Some of them are nice thoughts towards the baby, my darling, etc. And the monkey mind created a stray thought. What if I were to lift her and slam her? If she had not paid attention to the thought, the next moment it would have disappeared. But she started paying attention. Oh my God, I thought like this. Hey Bhagavan. Now the thought only got more energized and stronger and stronger and stronger. And until she is unable to pull it out of her mind. And that is when she is feeling harassed and she came to me.